Congratulations, Tanner. I understand you got yourself a cast iron skillet. In celebration of you getting your very first cast iron skillet, I've decided to create a series of videos to teach you tips, tricks, recipes, things to do with your cast iron skillet. You know, a little brotherly love, a little guidance from the other coast. So, this is for you, buddy. This is called Teaching Tanner to Cast Iron Cook, or TTTCC. I know there's no actual graphics, but, you know, we'll get something there eventually. This is going to be episode 1, the first thing you do when you get your cast iron skillet. And smash cut, that's where the music and montage is going to be, but we're not there yet. So, smash cut. I told you, smash cut, real fast, right to it. Didn't blink of the eye, blink and you would have missed it. Probably even looks like it's the same shot, because it is. Just turned it off and turned it back on again. That doesn't matter. Let's talk a little bit of cast iron. So I understand, Tanner, that you got a Lodge 10-inch cast iron skillet. That's I'm pretty sure that's the one that you have. Those come pre-seasoned. Now, I did not, for the sake of the video, go out and buy another cast iron skillet because, well, quite honestly, I just didn't want to spend the money on it, and I have too much cast iron as it is. Not that you can ever actually have too much cast iron. I mean, let's be honest about that. If I had room and money, I probably would have bought one, but that's neither here nor there. So, for the purposes of our demonstration, I'm going to be using this. This is the first cast iron skillet that I ever got. I do not know what brand it is. I do not know the manufacturer. I don't know anything about it because it was a gift. That was a gift from my Uncle Grant and Aunt Renee a couple years ago, and that was what got me started in my love of cast iron. It has become a full-fledged addiction, and all because of that pan. I understand that they went and picked it up at a flea market, and then my Uncle Grant sanded it down, cleaned it, buffed it, fired it, seasoned it, got it ready to rock and roll for me. So that was a very generous gift. Thank you so much, Uncle Grant and Aunt Renee. I really, really appreciate it, and I love you both. I hope you're doing well. End footnote. So, I'm going to be using my 10-inch pan because you have a 10-inch pan. So we're going to be doing similar things. And as your cast iron collection advances, as you get like a 12-inch pan, or you get a loaf pan, or a griddle, or, you know, different objects and items, and believe me, you're going to. It's just, it's what happens. We'll do more and more videos. But for now, we're going to start with just this pan and some very, very simple basics with cast iron cooking. As in all projects, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have all of your tools. So, for today's project, what we are going to need is paper towels, canola oil, a sponge, a handkerchief, and of course, your cast iron skillet. Back to you, Todd. Remember, when you go to clean your cast iron skillet, you don't really want to use soap. Soap is going to break down the seasoning on the cast iron skillet. Now, as your skillet becomes more and more seasoned, it becomes a thicker seasoning on it, and it's got a lot more flavor on it. You can use the tiniest bit of soap occasionally to help break up the harder particles and the things that are harder to get off. But it is not really advised. There are other ways to do it other than soap, which I'll teach you as we go along. I have a technique that works fantastically well. Regardless, we're going to get to that. So, we're not going to use soap, but we do want to wash it because it's been in a warehouse, it's been in transit, it's been dirty, it's been filthy. We don't know who's touched it, what dirt got on it, we don't know what happened to it. Plus, it's just nicer to clean the damn things as it is. So, we're going to wash it. Now, we're not going to use soap, but what we are going to use is a kitchen sponge and water. This is one of those simple blue kitchen sponges. It's got the rough on one side and the soft on the other side. I like using this rough side because that offers an abrasive quality and helps, you know, break the crap up off of it, and but it won't disturb your seasoning. It's actually really nice for cleaning your cast iron skillet, especially the first time. For later on, when things get rough, you can get one of these doodads. These are these chainmail washcloths. They're pretty fantastic, but they won't stop bullets. I clearly made a cut there because I trailed off into nothing. First thing to do, turn the water on. First thing to do. I keep saying first thing to do like there weren't a dozen other first things to do. That's fine. You know what I mean. Now, you're going to want to turn the water on. Turn it on. Warm. Not hot. Not cold. Warm. Because that's going to help break up any goo, but it's not going to be so hot that it's going to like, you're going to have one side of the pan hotter than the other, heat transfer, blah, 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 blah. Cold, same thing. Cold just doesn't do anything. All right, take it. Get it wet. Use your rough sponge. Scrub it down. Okay. Now, dry it. For drying my cast iron skillets, I use Viva paper towels. I like the Viva Select-A-Size paper towels. This is not an ad. They're not sponsoring me in any way. I have not made a single dollar from anything that I have done on this platform yet. Neither here nor there. Viva, I use because they're a soft paper towel. They're durable, right? They're like a fine grit, sandpaper, right? They're very, very smooth, and they don't leave behind any traces of paper. Now, there's going to be a lot of people who are watching this, and they're going to say, "Fool! You should never use paper towels for drying your cast iron skillets. You should only use kitchen towels, cloth." Here's the problem with cloth. Here's why I don't like it. The cloth has a tendency to fray more than the paper towels do. I get pieces of cloth inside my skillet, whereas with the paper towels, if it does fray, and they do fray on occasion, that happens. They'll fray and they'll crumble. If that happens, the little pieces of paper burn up and go away. They're very, very easy, or they dry up and come out very simply. The cloth doesn't do that as well, and quite honestly, I just don't feel like it's as effective for just my own personal use. So, Viva paper towels, right? Again, it's what I like. Experiment. Do what you feel good, right? Give it a good wipey wipe all over, right? Top and bottom, because you don't want the water to sit on there and you don't want it to rust, because once it rusts, that's a whole other problem. Fortunately, I have never had to deal with rust in a cast iron skillet. I've been very lucky so far. If I ever have to deal with it, I'll do a video showing how I dealt with it, but so far I haven't had to do any rust work, so I'm very fortunate, thankfully. But I don't want to tempt fate either. You know what I mean? So just keep it dry. Keep it dry. Stick it on your stovetop. Turn on high. And let it cook for a second. While that's happening, you're also going to want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. That's preheat your oven to 400 degrees. While these two items are heating up and getting ready for the next step, it is time for us to pick our weekly beer. I know this is the first time we've ever done this segment. Well, it's the first time we've ever done this show. But therefore, you know what I mean. Therefore, this is the first time we've done this segment. I'm going to try to include in this show every week a new beer that I've bought and tasted. And I'm going to open it up and taste it on the show. Not for any reason other than beer is just fun. It's fun to drink. It tastes good. There's a lot of varieties. And with the Untapped app, you can get your badges as a social sharing thing, right? Doesn't matter. Again, not being sponsored by anybody. Nobody's paying me to say or do any of these things. These are just things that I like and things that I use so far. Eventually, I'm probably going to start lying and just to sell merchandise and make money. But, we'll burn that bridge when we get there. I'll tell you not to trust me when I start lying. How's that? Okay. Anyhow, cooking is hard, hot, sweaty work, and nothing beats it more than beer. Or other cocktails. Probably other cocktails at some point too. But today, beer. Today, we're going to be tasting the Electropical Juicy IPA from the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. It looks good. Ta-da! Thanks for that. Now that your pan has gotten nice and hot, you're going to want to add a little bit of oil. Not too much. Just a little drop. It's hard to do while looking at the monitor. Just about that much. Not a lot of oil, because too much oil will make it sticky as it seasons and it's harder to cook off. So, add your little bit of oil. Take your paper towel, your Viva paper towel, and spread it out. Use your handkerchief to hold onto the handle because it's hot. Cast iron skillet transfers a lot of heat. You're going to want to spread this oil all over the skillet, on the edges. You're going to want to do the handle, right, where you've been holding it because it's still part of the iron. Keep going, spread it around, smear it off, wiping off the excess. Make it seem as if you cannot wipe off anymore. Flip it over. Use the residue that is on the paper towel, right, from the, you see how it's got a little bit of fuzzies on there, but that's okay. Those will come right off. But it's got a little bit of the residue of the oil on there, okay? And you wipe it off. You wipe it all over the backside, okay? And you got your fuzzies off. Now, you're taking this guy, and you're going to stick him in the oven upside down, right? So, not sitting in the oven, sitting in the oven. Upside down in the oven at 400 degrees. The reason you're doing it upside down is because you don't want oil to pool inside the edges here and not get an even season, right? So, if there's any oil that's in there and it's going to pool, it's actually just going to come to the edges and it won't hurt nothing. All right, so into the oven, upside down, 400 degrees for about an hour. It's been an hour. Let's take our pan out. Using the handkerchief so we don't burn ourselves. Our pan. Look at that. Look how beautiful. Nice, shiny, black, seasoned, ready to go. That's it. Our cast iron skillet is seasoned. It's cleaned. It's ready to go. So, next week, we'll make bacon.